Am I the asshole because I'm tired of catering to one daughter? Every time my husband and I make plans to visit our adult girls, two both married and grandkids in a 4 hours flight, I never get a response from one for days. While the other has her response for us to do things with grandkids within a day. 30 days should be enough notice if we can visit. And there's other family we visit with also. 7 days before trip and still just lame excuses with no definite dates. I'm just totally over catering to this daughter. My husband on the other hand acts like planning makes no difference and just go with the flow. But I like some idea of where and when to visit, just over feeling rushed for the last minute, well, if you can make it, plans, because then I look like the bad guy if we can't break other family plans to see grandkids. It's hard for large get-togethers because of work schedules. Catering to this daughter, when you are the one announcing that you'll be showing up on a certain date and expecting to be sent a full itinerary of how she'll be rearranging her and her children's lives to entertain you. I had to laugh here. Guests usually get invited for visits, not just let hosts know when they're showing up. You are the asshole for the tone. Everyone else caters to me and behaves exactly as I require them to, so why can't she, is all I can hear. No assholes here, some people are organized and some are not. Make plans with the daughter who responds and simply tell the other what your plans are. Then take a breath. You are not the bad guy. Are you just springing these travel dates on her before asking her about it beforehand? You are the asshole, if that's how you are playing it. I would personally be very frustrated if my mom just called and said, "We will be there in a month," and expected me to come up with an itinerary for her. I plan ahead and have things scheduled months in advance. What if she already had something scheduled? When my mom wants to visit, the question is, "I'd like to come see you for a few days. What does your schedule look like for the next few months? Do you have a weekend that works for you? Why don't you say, on Saturday, July 5th, I'd like to do XX with you and the kids." Will that work? Making the decision for her may make things easier. This is rather vaguely written and hard to follow. Am I the asshole for telling my husband no? I, 30M, am married to my husband Michael, 30M. We both met in college, moved a few years ago and got married recently. A little backstory. Michael grew up in the conservative Bible Belt with an older brother, John, and a younger sister, Chelsea. She's 17, so you know Michael's parents totally 100% accepted him for being gay. Not. His parents were livid and he moved far away from them as possible and has kept minimal contact except to keep up with his sister. Now on to the story. I work as a CNA and work long-hour night shifts. Michael works part-time for right now as he was let go in 2020 during the pandemic. I come home from a long night of work to find Chelsea sitting on our couch with a cup of tea and Michael sitting across from her. I ask her what she's doing here as she's supposed to be 3 states away. She says, "My parents kicked me out." I ask her why and she says because she's pregnant. She got knocked up by some head honcho quarterback and he wants nothing to do with the baby, and her parents' plan for her was to either wait 2 months till she turns 18 and then get married to her piss-poor baby daddy. Chelsea didn't want to do that, so they kicked her out. Michael looked solemn in her, explaining everything like he was coming up with a plan. He pulled me aside and said, "We should raise the baby." I told him absolutely not, because 1, we can't raise a baby, 2, I don't want children, they aren't my cup of tea. Now Michael is upset because he wants to help his sister out. Chelsea doesn't really feel upset, but I'm not sure. She's at least asking if she can stay with us a while until she gets her own place, which I don't mind. Not the asshole. Of course you could raise a baby. But you don't want to. Parenthood isn't the kind of thing to take on just because someone else likes the idea. And there are other options. This sounds like total bullshit. How could you possibly be the asshole for not wanting to just assume responsibility for someone else's baby? Please make sure you talk to Chelsea about her options. She does not have to carry this fetus to term and her life may be better if she doesn't. Not the asshole. I think it's nice to offer her a temporary place to stay, and support her finding a place for her and baby, if she chooses to carry to term. Your husband can also offer to be a very supportive uncle, with childcare, at her place. Your husband has an opportunity to be best uncle ever. There's helping his sister out, and then there's taking on an 18+ commitment to raise a child despite not wanting children. Explain to him that you're happy to help, but not like that. If you were happy to help, I guess. She's at least asking if she can stay with us a while until she gets her own place, which I don't mind. Be a little wary with this. She doesn't have to procrastinate long, and now suddenly there's a baby in the house, and how could you possibly consider kicking out a new mother and child? Ada, I'll go no assholes here since I don't blame Michael for being a bit upset, as long as he's not carrying on too much. He's probably emotional and caught up with trying to help his sister with a few flashbacks to being kicked out by his folks himself. Sounds like a movie plot, right down to the quarterback. Am I the asshole for leaving the house, without warning? I, 21F, I'm currently living with my grandparents, 77F and 80M. There is a Dunkin' Donuts in the city that is a 7-minute walk from their house. I have walked there multiple times in the past with no problem. This morning I told my grandmother, I'm going to Dunkin' to get a drink. She responded with, okay. I went to my room, grabbed my key, then left. When I came back maybe 20 minutes later with my drink in hand, she started panicking. She asked, what happened? Did you have that delivered? I was very confused and said, no, I told you I was walking to Dunkin'. She immediately started panicking again and said, you didn't tell me you were leaving. I was bewildered. I reminded her how I explicitly said that I was going to walk there to get a drink. She told me that she didn't realize I meant that exact minute and had no idea I even left the house. She started going on a rant, saying what if there was an emergency and she was searching all around the house for me and couldn't find me. I was dumbfounded given the fact that I am literally about to turn 22 next month, had my phone on me, and I personally thought what I said sufficed. I called my mom to get her opinion and she agreed I shouldn't even realistically need to ask permission to walk to Dunkin', especially at my age. My grandma got mad that I called her and once again said that she didn't realize I meant I was going to leave right at the moment. What I said was, I am going to walk to Dunkin' to get a drink. I thought that was fine and that made it more than clear enough I meant right then. She was so angry I called my mom, but my mom agrees that they have been way too overprotective during the time I've been staying with them. Believe me, I'm incredibly grateful they're letting me live with them. This just feels like a bit much in my opinion. My grandma's main argument is I should have clarified as I was walking out the door that I was leaving right at that moment and that I wasn't clear enough and need to communicate better, and that to her I left the house without warning, which terrified her. Am I the asshole? Edit. Okay, a lot of you are suggesting it could be a dementia issue. My only issue with this is my grandma has shown no other symptoms of this and is incredibly sharp for her age, and you probably wouldn't guess she's as old as she is if you spoke to her. Although it could of course be a very early sign as many of you suggested, so I will discuss the idea with my mother. Edit 2. No, she was not distracted when I told her. She was just sitting on the living room couch and I walked up to her and told her I was going. Your grandparents are quite old. Her response was over the top, this is not normal. Please watch for dementia symptoms and get help if needed. Not the asshole. What I wonder. Is she using her outrage with you to cover that she just didn't remember? Are there signs she is starting to experience memory loss? We saw this with my wife's grandma. Initially, she'd find a way to turn it that the issue wasn't that she forgot. The issue was a different issue to push that she forgot to the side because she didn't want to deal with the possibility that her memory was failing. The thing you need to understand about older folks is that their ability to remember decreases dramatically. Yes, you are grown and do not need to tell anyone where you are going. It is a courtesy when living in someone's house. That said, it sounds like Graham is having some cognitive decline and you're going to need to not get defensive about it. Hun, no, not the asshole, but call your grandparents' GP, doctor. Probably just a simple infection, UTI, lung, but it really messes with older people's brain and with memory. Could be more to it, but I doubt it, and that's when you need the GP anyway. Not the asshole. I know a lot of people are pointing out having grandma checked on the dementia front, but if they do that, please make sure they rule out a UTI first. UTI symptoms in the elderly look similar to dementia and can be missed. Elderly folks have died from UTIs that were mistaken for dementia. Not the asshole. Like others have said, have her see a doctor to make sure all is okay. Or it may be the beginning stages of dementia. It's possible she heard you and understood you just fine in that moment, but when you came back, she'd forgotten you went out and got surprised. An angry overreaction and blaming you is pretty common when a person starts forgetting little things. Am I the asshole for leaving before my mom's birthday after my brother's ugly comment at my husband? We've been taking a break from my family for the past few years because they, mostly my dad and brothers, don't like my husband, James. They're all very macho and our marriage doesn't fall into the 1950s shit they want for me. It's very, if all you want is gray for me. The break was my choice and I held them all to it. Their big problem is how James isn't manly enough. He has a chronic illness and we've had to do things like leave weddings early and cancel outings. He makes less money than me. He isn't very strong. He can't take care of me. He doesn't know how to fix a car. He was vegan in college. He can't give them grandkids, which is probably the worst offense in the history of mankind. James said that he wanted to give them another chance, so he worked towards it and everyone seemed like they were actively being kinder all around. My mom said that the break really shocked them into doing better. We decided to head over for my mom's birthday, which was a week ago. We were nervous. Things did seem better and we thought maybe we really could have them in our lives again. I missed them. My brother ruined it. I was sitting with my nephew on my lap and James was helping my dad inside. My brother said I looked good with a baby on my lap. Then he said, I'll never get how you could give up being a mom for a guy who won't even mow the lawn. Because James passed out while he was mowing the lawn because of the sun and heat exposure. Since then, I mow the lawn. They know about this. It was a scary time for me. I said he needs to watch it. He rolled his eyes at me and said that it's not fair that he can't even be himself and say what's on his mind with his own family just because that pendejo is here. I set my nephew down and walked away and told James it was time to go. My mom called me while we were on the road. I told her what happened and she said, Dios mío, you are really this mad about such a little comment? We argued over it until it became a screaming match and she called me a bad daughter to cause her this stress on her birthday and that it seems like I was just waiting for one of them to screw up. And that I have a problem with allowing other people to have opinions. And I should understand the family is upset we won't have kids because any family would be. That last part is what I am caught on and why I might be the asshole. Does me not wanting them to speak bad things on James mean I'm stopping them from being honest, which I guess they should be allowed to be? Does that make me the asshole? And for leaving and causing a scene, yes, but that's not the big part. Your brother essentially point blank told you that being himself means being an absolute prick. Your mother made it clear that your brother's ability to be cruel without consequence is more important to them than contact with you. As the saying goes, when people tell you who they are, believe them. Not the asshole. Not the asshole and no more second chances. Contrary to your family's belief, please don't overtly insult my husband for a few hours, is not a big ask. Not the asshole. Good on you for standing up for your husband. Your brother's honesty was a cheap shot and not an opinion, and your mom backing him just proves nothing's changed. You set one boundary and they couldn't manage a single birthday without crossing it? Yeah, walking out was the right thing to do. Not the asshole. Your brother saying, you look good with a baby on your lap, seriously icks me out. Not the asshole at all. You gave them a chance. They stomped on it. If your family is Latin American, machismo is a huge part of the culture. The appearance of manliness will be a very ingrained and difficult pattern for them to break. You might never get what he or you are hoping for out of them. But at the very least, you are breaking the cycle. I feel for your nephew though. Not the asshole. Seriously, we have to say every honest thing that crosses our mind? Okay, to tell mom she's gained a lot of weight, to tell bro he is drinking too much or smells bad. There is such a thing as kindness and courtesy even among family members. I hope you edit this to include some of your husband's qualities that are why you are with him, and I think those assuming he should mow the lawn don't know anything about his health. Men with chronic diseases, in wheelchairs, etc. are often strong, kind, wonderful men, and their wives are very happy, even to mow the lawn. Your family are jerks.